Yo, what is going on? I am Jay Tarantino, the Guitar Boss. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you some riffs from the Etherius song, The Rivers of Sand and Blood. We're going to get your rhythm guitar chops in shape, so make sure you're warmed up and pay attention. Alright, so here is the intro riff to the Etherius song, The Rivers of Sand and Blood, and I'm going to break it down into two halves, and I'm going to show you an effective way to practice it with a metronome. So here's the first half. And again, like I said, break this down into two halves like we're going to do here, and start off slow, play with a metronome, and just slowly build up your speed. Our target tempo is 200 BPM. That's the tempo that we recorded the song at. So what I'm doing is I'm alternating between, and again, I'm down picking this whole thing, alternating between the open B string, and then I'm hitting 3 and 2 on the E string. So again, slow, it's... So a good way to practice this, again, with a metronome, start off slow, gradually build up speed. So I'm not playing to a metronome here, but I'm going to play it slow, and then I'm going to slowly speed it up. So. And two very important things that I want to discuss before we go any further. The first thing is the pick that you're using is very important. For this video, and actually for the recording, for the album recordings, I use this pick. Not this specific pick, but this style of pick. This is a Dunlop Tortex 0.88 millimeter. And I like this pick because it's not too heavy, but it's also thick enough where it's not going to bend when you start to dig in a little bit harder. The other thing that we have to talk about is your muting with the right hand. Where your hand sits on the bridge or a little closer to the pickup, depending on where it is also going to affect the tone. And the way I usually mute is I keep the bottom of my hand really just anchored right on the edge of the saddles. So you can see a little bit closer. So this is how I usually hold the pick when I'm muting hard like this. So. And I keep my pick at, instead of keeping my pick straight, I kind of keep it on sort of a downward angle, just a little bit, because to me it's a little bit, it just sounds a little bit chunkier in my opinion. So again, close to the saddle, and I hold the pick kind of on it almost a little bit, not too severe like this, but just a little bit of a downward angle. So. I kind of change the muting here as I do this again, just so you can hear the difference in sound. As you get a little bit closer to the neck, or towards the neck pickup, the sound will get a little more staccato, a little bit less chunky, and you'll also start to hear, especially with high gain, you'll start to hear some of the harmonic overtones coming out. So here we go. See, that's a pretty good sound too, because the notes choke a little bit faster, but not as chunky sounding in my opinion. And then here you kind of got, again, you got a little more of the harmonics ringing out. It's almost like putting a high-pass filter on your guitar when you do this. But to me, the best sound is right there. That's the sweet spot in my opinion. So those two elements, very important for these riffs. So again, here's the intro riff, just exactly the way I played it, up to speed. So. So we did the first half. Now the second half is it starts with a little bit of a gallop pattern on the B string, and then I'm playing 5 and 4 on the A string. So that pattern is. So again, like I said, break this riff. We did the first half. Now we got the second half. Just do it slow, play with the metronome, and just slowly build up speed. So again, I'll play it slow, and then I'll gradually speed it up. So again, here's the entire riff at full speed. So the next riff is just a quick transition to bring us from the intro to the verse riff, and all it is just a B5 power chord, just down pick. So I'm just hitting the open B string and the second fret F sharp on the E string. So, and like we went over before with the muting, it's just a B5 chord. And again, experiment with where you position your hand, but I think the best sound is right on the saddle. So here we go. So that brings us to the verse riff, and this is where I start to do a little more alternate picking, just because there's a lot more going on with the left hand. So at this tempo, at 200 beats per minute, it just makes more sense. It's not very efficient to down pick. It just makes sense to do it with alternate picking. So I'll play the riff slow, and then again, we'll break it down into two parts. So. So a good thing, again, take the first half of that and just practice that over and over. Start off slow and just gradually build up speed. So here it is. It's just one, and then the open B string. So dun 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 dun. So the second half of that riff is a little bit of a melody going on based on the Phrygian dominant scale, and that melody goes like this. So the melody is just on the E and the A, so it's 5, 7, 8 on the E, 6 on the A string, 5, 7, 8 on E, 6 on A, and then 8, 7, 5, 7. So again, and I'm alternate picking this because just because the tempo is just so fast, it doesn't make sense to try and down pick it. So again, and then again the second time when it repeats, I change it up a little bit and I do. So I'm starting 7th fret on the A string, so 7, 8, 7, 5, 7, 8, 7, 5 on the E. So again. So again, here is the entire riff played up to speed. And so here is the intro riff, the entire thing from start to finish. Intro and verse played up to speed. So. So that brings us to the next riff, which again is just a quick transition riff to go into the next verse. So that riff is just, it's all 16th notes at this point. So now we're getting into just alternate picking. So that riff goes like this. So the chords are as follows. So it's just, we got B, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, G. So that second half is B, E, F sharp, and then so D, C sharp, A. So here it is up to speed. So again, a good way to practice just the muting, the 16th notes, is just to do it on one string. Don't try to go back and forth between the chords. Just start off with one note and just do it slow and just gradually build up speed. So and then as you get more comfortable with it, you can start incorporating the chord changes into it. So and then it just goes right back into that same verse riff again. Thank you all very much for watching today's video. As always, I hope you've learned something. I hope these riffs inspire you to work on your own ideas. And I hope these riffs are a great lesson in how to build up picking speed, picking accuracy, and just overall rhythm guitar chops. Again, like I said, experiment with the type of pick you use, the type of muting that you use, and see what works for you. If you would like to check out the new Etherius album, the latest Etherius album, Chaos Order Renewal, click the link in the description box below. Our website is etheriusband.com. You can check out my website for more videos, jtarantino.com. Follow me on Instagram at GuitarBoss. Follow Etherius at EtheriusBand. And if you would like to donate to the channel, if you like the content, there's a link in the description box below where you can donate. And again, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.